magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast. What up, everybody? How we all doing? This Saturday night, it's the Transformers Slag Podcast Saturday Night live stream main event. I am your host, Proto Man. I am the face that runs this place. I am the voice you hear Monday to Friday, and it is a Saturday. It is the weekend of New York Comic-Con, the second biggest convention in North America. Quite the busy weekend indeed. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of cool stuff to show off. We have some exclusive reveals tonight on this live stream. We got some cool stuff that we're going to be participating together with. Some we got a lot. We got a lot. We're good. We're gonna be doing some super chats. It's gonna be a great weekend. We're coming up also to TFCon Baltimore in just a couple weeks. So next week is gonna be hype too. Next week we're gonna have our last live stream before TFCon Baltimore. So it's gonna be pretty good stuff. Who do we got in the chat today? Also, just a reminder, tomorrow I'm gonna be going to get this recustomized. This is the old toy line jacket. Some people might have seen me wear it in the past. I'm going to be getting some new patches put on and some moved around and everything. Some classics I've been waiting to get done customized have finally come in. So stay tuned for that. But let's jump into it, shall we? I think that's why I'm wearing it today. It's going to be the last time. Oh, KB Toys, how I miss thee. Who's in the chat? Who is in the chat? Ninjatron's the exclusive reveal. Ninjatron always has good stickers at TFCon, so those are exclusive to the show. I have them. I have them right here. Actually. I always keep them on the side. Oh, these are the other exclusive stickers that I got from other fans. I forget what her name was, but she was really cool. Anyways, let's get into it, shall we? Who's in the chat? We got Ashnud is here. We got Timmy K. Poindexter is here. The twins are here, one of my Patreon people. T-Former 2002 is here. Rudy Mack is here. Ninjatron, of course. YLAG-Y. We got Jacques, who's one of my patrons. James. We got T-Formers 2002. Horndow, Will Murphy. James again. Rudy Mack. There's Cringe McCringle. What up? Modutron. We got, I don't want to miss anybody. Mikey and Louie from Bin Studios, who we'll be talking about more next week. Ashnut, I think I mentioned. Timmy K. Poindexter. I want to make sure I don't miss nobody. Orlando Chavez. Tom McNeil. Haven't seen you in a while. Eyes of the Ace. How you doing? YLAG-Y. I think I covered. Prince and Phalanx 59. Is anyone else popping in? Clark Clint Gaming. James Hopkins. More people coming in. Let's get into it. We got quite a bit to cover. Some stuff that other people haven't covered in the news, but I figured we'd be covering it here. So why not? So we're going to first start, before we get into the New York Comic-Con stuff, and again, super chat if you want to give your opinions or if you have a question, of course. But let's get into it. First thing we're going to cover is an individual in the fandom in Texas found at a Burlington coat factory these air-powered surface Transformers Generation 1 air hockey sets for $20, $19.99. So these are showing up in, again, Burlington Coat Factory of all places. Have these at $20. So pretty cool if you want to have in your man cave some air hockey action. As a Canadian, you got to appreciate the air hockey. If you want to get one, there is one available at Burlington Coat Factory, probably as we speak. It's a new thing that is starting to pop up. So just wanted to cover that because no one's talking about it. So I figured, well, I'll talk about it then. So that's popping off. So check that out. If I get more information on it, I will cover it in future segments. But that's pretty cool. I dig that. And again, $20? I mean, how big is this thing? Because that's pretty rad for $20. And it's actually air-powered too. That's pretty cool. I wonder if it works on USB. Very, very awesome. That's something to be cool for a TF room. Then, of course, here's another one we got to cover. This was news that was breaking from the Hot Wheels community. Apparently, the Hot Wheels barricade is being recalled, and new card backs of all the other figures from retail are having a sticker put over the barricade on the back of the cross cell. Now, the belief is that it's because he has written on the side of him to punish and enslave. And that's the reason for it. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's because the world is getting crazier every year as we speak. I mean, the punish and enslave thing has been on Barricade's side for quite a bit now. Dare I say, more than 15 years. And, only now are we going to start being, crazy about this. I mean, get over yourselves. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm not going to get into the semantics of it. I'm Canadian, so I'm not going to get into the deep of it. But I mean, really, this is what we're going to be crying over. And now this thing is going to be scalped so bad that it's going to be impossible to get it. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Because you know why? I probably should have brought it off the shelf, but that RPM one, where's the RPM barricade? There it is right there. RPM barricade is better than any of those Hot Wheel ones anyways. They're way cooler. So just go get an RPM barricade for like $5 off of eBay. So it is what it is. But I mean, if you're a hardcore collector of Hot Wheels, I don't know. That's just silly. Weak people in the world once again making decisions. Always afraid to offend. And this is coming from a Canadian, okay? So come on, guys, be stronger than that. Then we have Caillou. So Caillou is the company that was behind our. Let me grab the Transformer One trading cards that we've been opening up packs of these past couple of weeks. Caillou's also going to be getting into the blind pack action figure game, and they're doing a Generation One kind of flavored blind pack set that is actually coming out right now and could be bought from Caillou's website in China. I'm pretty sure they're going to show up on eBay and maybe even some of the Japanese websites too. But what's going to be available in that set is it's all blind packed and there's different color variations that you could be getting, but you could be getting Optimus Prime either in robot mode or alt mode. You could be getting Bumblebee in either robot mode or alt mode, Grimlock in either robot mode or alt mode. Um, Hardhead, who oddly enough, interesting choice, but what's even more interesting, not only is it Hardhead, the headmaster character, but they're using the design from his Universe 2009 repaint, which was a repaint of Onslaught from Universe. So very weird, deep cut. So if you really liked Hardhead or you really like that Universe 2009 repaint, sure, okay. And then there's Prowl, again, alt mode and robot mode. Then you got Megatron, same story, Starscream, Skywarp, Shockwave, who oddly enough turns into a gun, so that's pretty hype at least. And Bone Crusher, picking one of the Constructicons there. And the chase figures are either the color Optimus, the color Megatron, or a color Allspark, kind of patterned after the Cyberverse version. And a lot of people have been speculating that some of these might even be pulling from the Cyberverse series, which was quite successful in China. So it is a possibility this might all be technically kind of Cyberverse product in spirit a little bit, which I love that series, to be honest. I mean, so pretty cool. But check it out, yo. Pretty awesome. And again, they're blind packed. You can probably buy them by the case, but no guarantees of full sets. But very, very cool. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it a lot. We'll probably maybe cover this more if we get some better images. These are all from obviously Alibaba, which usually doesn't have the best quality images. So we will see. We will see. Let's get into before we get into the San Diego, the New York Comic Con stuff. We had this also that went up for pre-order, and of course, it's the Mandalorian Star Wars Transformers N1 Starfighter. I pretty much covered everything in the individual segments, but again, it will be available February 15th, so you could do a late Valentine's Day present for your man if it's a lady listening, and pick him up the Mandalorian. And this is going to be, again, February 15th, 2025. It'll be shipping out, and it's going to be $54.97. Uh, Again, they said it's 7.5 inches, so that's like a small leader class, I guess. And then when you factor in, it comes with a lot of blast effects, even more than what I have here as an image between the cape and the shield that make the stand, which I think is pretty darn cool. And then all the extra other blast effects that are used on the vehicle mode and everything. I mean, it looks cool. Mandalorian was pretty good series. I mean, a lot of Disney makes is pretty crap in all honesty, but that's one of the few that I enjoyed. Mikey and Louie, I agree with you 100%. Where's the Micromaster Grogu, aka aka Baby Yoda? That is so true. What would the alt mode be though? It would have to be like, let's see, you know what? Take the pre-existing Micromaster dead end, not Micromaster, Minicon dead end, the little cube one there, the ball from Unicron, and then have that be like Grogu's floating thing that he has, and then just have it transform and give it a green face and say it's Grogu. Sure, why not? Save yourself a mold. You don't have to do any work, and it's a 5 millimeter point on those Minicons anyways, and then you could pop it on here somewhere. So it is the way. It is the way. So let's get into New York Comic Con. And I actually busted out of the old Proto Man archive. This one's a little busted up throughout the years. This was one of the very first New York Comic Con exclusives. This was many years ago, 2011. The New York background with Jack and Raph with a pink RC and a New York styled taxi Bumblebee. I could never bring myself to open this thing, but the box got so beat up throughout the years in storage. But it's so cool. One day I'll find one in better condition, like a better condition box, and I'll crack this one open and then have your New York Raph and Jack. I love it. Love it. Very cool. So just figured I'd pull that out of the archive in the spirit of New York Comic Con. So then, where do we begin? Who was there this weekend? It was Nate from Hasbro Marketing, and during the breakfast VIP thing was Evan and Mark. Evan was actually Evan was actually rocking the Symbiote Studios shirt that I'm wearing today. So if you want to get that, symbiotestudios.com has that on their website. We'll talk more about Symbiote later. But what do we got? So these were literally sent to me in the 11th hour. I posted it on my Twitter, but Hasbro sent a whole bunch of official images to the influencers, and now we got some nicer photos than what we saw before from the panels that I posted. And yeah, so we got Double Punch here. Again, like I said before, I wasn't expecting the red, but those concept images are all over the place anyways, because apparently Scorponok was green according to that, and Double Punch was blue, and Sandstorm was red, and whatever, they're just going what they need to go over. But hey, keeps the Double Punch trademark alive, and while I didn't do a slide about it, we got that Scorponok reissue, which keeps that trademark alive for the Titan class. And if they at some point want to take Titan Master Scorponok and use that Double Punch trademark, if anyone knows the Action Master Elites, yeah, I wouldn't mind that. That'd be the craziest Titan class of them all. A Titan class Action Master Elite. How would you like that? We got a brand new subscriber in Megatronus. Thank you, Megatronus, for subscribing. And Alden Tolbert with the $2 super chat. Thank you, Alden Tolbert. Mando is kind of retool of Kingdom Cyclonus, but cool. I've been seeing so many people saying it's an extensive of a lot of different things. Some people are it's an extensive of this. I mean, let's put it this way. I got another extensive from that Cyclonus because I just absolutely love this mold. But I mean, is it? Is it really? I guess you could kind of see it in the feet a little bit. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, a little bit in the feet. You know what? You might be onto something there. But either way, then that means it's a Voyager class figure. So I don't know if the price is worth it then outside of it. Either way, very cool though. Thank you for the super chat, Alden Tolbert. But getting back to old Double Punch, again, Scorponok was purple. This one is red. So who's going to be blue? Who's going to be green? Technically, there's a green one with the Target exclusive. That's a Sand Spear, I believe they called that one instead of Sandstorm. So if you're building your army of Predacons for your Rise of the Beast movie reenactment, you got one more to add to the collection. Michael Butcher says, I'll be waiting for a sale to get Double Punch. Which one? For our Titan class? That'd be pretty cool. But yeah. And then, of course, we got the long-awaited, long overdue. We were waiting for this one. Was in limbo since 2002. when we saw it and Hound. Here we got Hatchet. The funny thing with Hatchet was, I mean, the last toy that he had was his Dark of the Moon one more than a decade ago. And that was the one that was like, it was like that weird, larger Cyberverse price point, which doesn't exist anymore. I guess you could kind of call it a smaller core class. Not even a smaller core class, almost like a core class today, really, when you think about the plastic. But that one turned into a jet. And man, like what a weird like release history that character got. And then of course, now we got this one and he's looking really good. Looking really good. Even a licensed vehicle through Ford. Very nice. Awesome, awesome stuff. I love the detail on it also. I'm really curious what they could do with this mold afterwards and have fun with it. You know, maybe make some other characters. I mean, let's be real, if this wasn't 100% tied to being super like movie accurate, you could probably get a Ravage out of this with some retooling or you know, even let's do some weird characters. Let's do like Glit. Let's do like Glit from like Kiss Play. You know, let's paint this all white. Give it the give it the Glit Jaguar face, and that'd be awesome. Kiss Play, what? But it is what it is. So yeah. And then of course we have the Studio Series Voyager class War for Cybertron Gamer Edition Skywarp. This one here, now that we have like better images of it, it's very clear now how the gun is supposed to look, because in the images that we had from the panel, it almost looked like the gun was translucent. Here it looks a lot better. You can see that it's more of a matte gray with these four blasters. I believe someone mentioned that it's the thermal launcher from the game. I don't remember the names of the guns. I just remember playing Capture the Flag over and over to level up my characters, but very cool. I love that he still has the mace. So that all goes together. Unique weapon. Although what is unfortunate is when we had the in-hand images from the Breakfast VIP, he does have the exact same facial expression, and head sculpt as the Starscream. Not really too much of a surprise, but it would have been cool if at least like, you know, Starscream has one face, he would have like a grinning face, and then, I don't know, give Thundercracker a sad face. I don't know, or a smirking face or something. Although the Starscream should have that. But yeah, still very cool. I dig it. Again, anyone who lived during War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron, those were some golden times. Those were some golden times. Playing online, a lot of cool people. Easily the best Transformer game ever made. Ever made. Yeah, so great stuff. And then we have the controversial one today. So let's talk about the Transformers Studio Series 86 Leader Class Galvatron. The polarizing one, if anything. Let's go into the next slide to really go into it. So we had the in-hand images at the breakfast thing. And here's a side by side pretty much with the Kingdom version. So the Matrix is pretty much more or less colored the same. It's a different hue of purple, in this case, almost a purplish blue, to more match what the animation model was doing in different, you know, different cell exposures from the 86 movie. But, you know, and the solid orange for the blaster instead of it being clear. Obviously, I was seeing some people saying, well, you also don't get the weathering on the Galvatron. And while you're half right, I mean, the truth of the matter is that if you got the legacy version, like here's a side by side, there's the Kingdom one on the right, there's the legacy one on the left. So, I mean, if you could get a legacy one really cheap right now, you're pretty good to go. You know, like that's pretty much a good Galvatron already. Because the only negative with the Kingdom one is it has that silly weathering all over it, because it really was kind of like a siege thing going on from the tail end of that John Warden era of design. But kind of disappointed. I was kind of hoping for something a little sleeker. I've seen third party companies do really good Galvatrons. I mean, shout out to Jizai Toys, a Japanese creator who made like one of the best, like, you know, garage kit Galvatrons ever, and showed how you could really pull it off. So this Galvatron unfortunately suffers from a little bit of that. You know, they had the gimmicks that were going on, the blast effect points, the weathering, you know, it came from that John Warden era. So maybe unfortunately, and I don't want to say in 4 years or so, but when they have to do another Galvatron again, hopefully they'll revisit this. and give it a second try. Because I really hope, because when you really think about it, like that means that this guy towers over your commander class Rodimus. So it's like, yeah, I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. Very funky. I have very mixed feelings in the old tummy. Let's put it that way. So I don't know. You let me know what you think. But I mean, for the time being, if you have someone that's getting rid of a legacy Galvatron, or if you could find it on sale somewhere, I mean, some people are even saying you could probably go on Amazon not now and find the Kingdom one for on sale. So I mean, I don't want to tell people like, hey, don't buy Hasbro product, but I mean, if you have a better opportunity to save money, I'll always ask you to save money and save money. Definitely save money on this one. Definitely save money on this one. And the last thing we're going to cover, of course, is the Devastator. So the next date we have to look forward to is next Sunday, not the Sunday tomorrow, but next Sunday will be 10/27 event. We'll have the Devastator reveal, according to Nate from Hasbro. He said that that's going to be the big reveal. He even gave us some little tidbits about Devastator. Number one, that he's going to have a really good distribution. They're not going to make the same mistake that they did with Menasor and the Stunticons, where Breakdown was really tough to get. All 6 members, which are going to be sold individually, will get a good distribution. So you won't go, oh man, like, I got 5 pieces, but that Bone Crusher, he's getting scalped like crazy. So they recognize this is a legendary 7 character. This is something that deserves attention and focus. And they really, really, really want to make sure it gets into everyone's hands. And we're going to see more next week. Maybe we'll see other stuff too, but stay tuned for that for sure. Now then, we also got 2 brand new reveals. Technically 2.5, because there's one that I've been kind of peppering throughout the week. We have some Symbiote Studio reveals that I've been promising for a while now. So first one, brand new. If you were not able to go to San Diego Comic-Con, there was an exclusive Dinobot Sludge Battle Damage Edition with pop-out eyes, and it sold out very quickly. Very, very quickly. So if you didn't get a chance to get that one, the vanilla version is now going to be available next week, up for pre-orders to ship out right away from symbiotestudios.com. Dinobot Sludge will be happening. So check him out, yo. Looking gorgeous. And he could join, go on the website right now, get yourself a Slag. Get your Slag, get your Sludge. You're already almost there, because you want to know why you're almost there? Because also debuting next week will be version 3 Grimlock. This is a more toy accurate version with different proportions as opposed to the past one. So that'll also be going up for pre-order and then shipping out literally the day afterwards from Symbiote Studios next week. So get that ready. That's pretty cool too. But there's even more. There's even more. Backed by popular demand, Bumblebee will be reissued and up for pre-order right now today on symbiotestudios.com. The Bumblebee, and just to show you how big those plushes are, Bumblebee will be up for pre-order today, so go check out symbiotestudios.com for that reissue. And also available today is the Halloween kit. This is a special upgrade kit for all your Symbiote Studio plushes of some Halloween decor, a cape, a hat, some gloves, and of course, a pumpkin for all your boys and girls. So your Symbiote Studio stuff has it. Just like how they did the Winter Wonder kit, now you got the Halloween kit. Go get that. That's available right now for a nice $10 to upgrade all your Symbiote Studio guys. So pretty cool stuff. So check those all out. And of course, here's all the others. This is the full spread now of everything, what's sold out, what isn't sold out, what's available on the website right now, and what is to come, hopefully soon, in 2025. This is an ongoing initiative, multi-years. So I don't know if it'll work with the Unicron, Cringe McCringle. That's a big one. Maybe you could put it on one of the horns. But check it out. Really good stuff. Again, symbiotestudios.com. Next week, we'll have some more reveals from them. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening before the year is up. Again, the holiday season is starting. So there's going to be a lot of cool things. A lot of cool things. And of course, all their My Little Pony plushes. They have a way more on the website than I could even put. I mean, their pony collection is pretty crazy. So yeah, check that out again. And again, thank you, Symbiote Studios, for being a sponsor. And speaking of which, let's jump into, of course, Toy Armada. Go check out the Toy Armada segments that we put up with Aaron Archer. And Aaron is going to be at TFCon Baltimore with me. So go check out TFCon Baltimore if you aren't already registered and ready to go. Aaron Archer will be there with me. We'll be chilling in the dealer room. Go get some cool stuff from Aaron, such as, let me show you, the beautiful TFCon, well, I wouldn't call it an exclusive, but definitely is going to be available exclusively at the show through Aaron. His Art of Transforming Robots Volume 3, looking really good. He'll also have a butt ton of Posca paintings. These are the only ones that are available on his store. Again, guys, next week, these are going to be going off of the store and sold at the show. So if you have not picked up stuff that's on the store, I suggest you get it, because once he brings it to the show, I'm telling you, they're going to get sold, and that's it. So if you're not going to TFCon Baltimore, go to his store, archermonster.com/shop, and get the Posca paintings before he brings them to Baltimore, because they will sell and disappear. But man, hype stuff. So check that all out too. Again, check out Aaron Archer at Baltimore 2 weeks from now. I'll see you there. And that's it, more or less, for stuff this week. But we're going to take some super chats. But first, didn't get to do this last week. We have the special cans, Bumblebee movie soda cans. So we're going to be trying one today. This is Japanese Ramune grape flavor. So which one do you want me to drink? Bumblebee, or Bumblebee? Let me know in the comments below. Or Bumblebee. Or Bumblebee. Let's see what we got in the chat. Hey, it's true. It could be you could put the leg wrappings around the horns for the other. Show some hands and you'll get there. Do the badassatron. So I haven't tried this one yet. This is the side leaning one. So these are the high up edition. They started showing up in a lot of Asian supermarkets. We opened up the Optimus Prime ones, I think 2 weeks ago. So very, very cool. Let's crack it open, yo. See how it is. Tastes like grape soda. That's exactly what it tastes like. Grape drink. B2. I don't even know which one I grabbed. But yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. Supposedly, there was these ones, Rise of the Beast, and Transformer 1 ones. I have yet to find the Transformer 1 versions. Only Rise of the Beast and the Bumblebee ones. So, it is what it is. Purple drink. Ah, prefer water. Thank you. That stuff is good for cleaning surfaces. But yeah, got a lot of cool stuff I've been messing with recently. Got this boy here. I finally got to open up Flame. Really dig him. Imagine it took this long to get a figure of Flame. And a really good use of the Megatron. Really like it a lot. Very, very cool. Been slowly getting to everything. It's like I do some work and then I'll open up a figure or two and take some nice photos. What's up, Larry? And yeah, tastes like Energon. Oof. I hope Energon doesn't taste like. Energon's purple though in certain lightings, so it's a possibility. It's a possibility. Yeah, it's like clear though. It's just a clear flavor. I think the Ramune tasted a little better. The Optimus one, it had more of a limey kind of flavor to it almost, but it was not bad. It is not bad. The B127. That's not a B127 one actually though. That's what they should have done. If it was Bumblebee movie, they should have had like the B127, the Jeep one, and then the Volkswagen Bumblebee. Because they only have three, so. Mikey and Louie, and the shell that held the soul of Primus, Emret. Oh yeah. Everett Zaron, I took a beautiful photo with that one with the HasLab Unicron. That's already in the display. I love that one too. It's I mean, what a set. What a set. I have the box here. I already opened up everything, but I mean, what a absolutely fantastic set, you know? I mean, I really hope that they do more stuff like this. I really do. Like this is that like you have to understand like I grew up with Generation 1 the cartoon and then in the mid to late 90s with the internet, I got to experience everything else that existed up to that point. So I like got to finally read the Marvel comics really for the first time because as a kid I didn't get the Marvel comics of Transformers. I got like all these other Marvel comics. I never got the Transformer ones. By the time I was really actively collecting comic books, G2 was a thing. But so I finally like went back and read all the comics and stuff. Shout out to Dave. Dave was this local comic book store that had like practically everything almost. So I was able to like read them and caught up on that, ended up falling absolutely in love with the Marvel interpretation. And then online, oh my God, wait, the UK guys also got their own comics and tracking down those ones in the magazine size and reading those and all the cool stories with that. And as a big Rodimus guy, the fact that he got like such a huge focus in the UK stories, it was all great. Simon Furman doing some of his best work, you know? So I just love this stuff. I love this stuff. And I hope that they do more of it. I hope they do more of it. I hope they do like weirder characters. Like the fact that we get a box set that has Flame and Emerald Zaron tells me that they could take risks. They could do weird stuff. And if they do it in small numbers and it's just enough that the hardcore fans could get it and, they don't run the risk of it being something that's overpopulated in the market and ends up going on crazy clearance. I mean, I'd like to get a redone, Scrounge, the little wheel transformer. That'd be really cool to get. Just some of the more weirder guys done right. It'd be really nice. And where's Botanica? Do a Botanica. I keep bringing her up, but Botanica, man, Botanica. Um, Tom Laney says I really like that set. Never read the comics, but I like the characters. Yeah, man, but like you should. Flame is one of those unique like Autobot bad guys. You know what I mean? Crazy Autobot characters. Like he's not just like scientist Rodimus Prime, let's put it that way, or scientist Hot Rod. He's a very unique character, and I like putting the canon like this because like how he was in the comic, yeah. But you could also put it on the side, do a little bit of Megatron action there. What a great figure, great use of the Megatron mold from War for Cybertron. If almost I feel like it was made almost for this, if anything. So just absolutely fantastic. If you can get the set any way you can, I suggest you should go out of your way to get it. Have they done a Spike X? Autobot X, I don't think they've ever done anything of him outside a third party. There was a Sakamoto-san put together a Spike Autobot X 2000 using a whole bunch of the modulator stuff in the Legends comics, but that's like a fan mode, if anything. But it'd be very cool to see him also. A whole bunch of pieces and everything. Mikey and Louie, Marvel Comic Edition Thunderwing with Dark Matrix. I would love that. Marvel Scorponok. Well, see, the Marvel Scorponok, I like the thing is that to me, if you do a Marvel Scorponok, he'd have to be like a Voyager to a deluxe class because he has to be to scale with everybody, and then that opens up the doorway to do a bunch of fun repaints. Because then an Action Master Elite Double Punch would make more sense, honestly, as a smaller figure as opposed to a Titan class. And again, let's be real: who's going to be buying a $200 to $250 Titan class Action Master Elite Double Punch? Except me, maybe, but I'm a weirdo. Have him in the back there with all my other Action Master elites. But where are we at here? Shockwave 75 got my Dino King set a couple days ago. They're so cool, especially since I never owned the vintage ones. And no one should ever own the vintage ones. I own the vintage ones, and they are fragile. And the pretenders, God, you can barely see them, but the pretenders, they like get sticky over time. The chess piece one, Goryu, is like super fragile and stuff. You should never spend thousands of dollars to own that thing. Maybe they'll do a reissue one day that's made of more tolerable plastic, or better yet, like what you did, just go own the new one, because the new one is even better. The new one is almost kind of like slightly more screen accurate because it has a better proportion and it comes with a weapon that's very similar to that of the weapon that he used in the victory show. So, and it's not going to cost you $1,500 complete to own something that you're going to be terrified to transform. Does it come with pretender shells? No, it doesn't. But I mean, there's better things in life to be missing. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Man, this stuff is terrible. It's motor oil, Motortron, Spanner. Spanner's another one that could be done. There's a lot of there's a lot of weird characters that still like, like the one-offs and everything like that that you could kind of get a lot of crazy stuff out of. I mean, I'm really surprised with like all the RCs we've gotten. And like, we have like now we have like prototype RC colors through Super 7. It's like, how did Hasbro not do one yet? Like just take the RC, do prototype colors. There's a lot of like just easy repaints and easy weird characters for sure. Uh Dino King and the Monstructor. Oh, that's totally coming. That's totally coming. 110%. That like they're not going to make all that effort and energy if not like the planning of all of that. The fact that Volcanicus had anything to do with that combiner team was more a coincidence of them being dinosaurs. And then like at its core it was always supposed to be a Monstructor Dino King kind of thing, and Volcanicus was just more because, hey, it's dinosaurs. That's really more than anything else. uh let's see. James Hopkins waiting for Amazon to put the 2-pack on clearance. Well, do you think it'll go on clearance? I don't know. I don't know. It's really good though. It's really, really good. I mean, I find like all this extra stuff that Zaron has, like I put it on the side. Like I don't even display it with the figure. Like, why does he need a cannon and everything? But he's supposed to be just like a dude Primus ends up putting his essence into before boom, you know. But still very cool. What a great little box. What a great little set. Absolutely love it. Absolutely. I still have more stuff to open. I didn't open the GoBot set yet. That one I'm really hyped about, but I like to take my time. Take my time with my figures. Open them like, open one a day. Really take some time with them, enjoy them. Take them out to dinner, put my hand on their lap, let them know how much I care. Love those guys. Uh Mikey and Louie, I would love more shattered glass stuff. Well, shattered glass stuff, that's that's like an open everything. Like every mold that we have has a shattered glass equivalency. So it's like it's not even a matter of like, oh, we can't do shattered glass. It's just if they want to, because there's only a billion things that could be done. Only a billion molds. So Overlord. Well, you know what? Overlord, I think that's another one we're going to probably get something again. I mean, in all honesty, I mean, with Titan class and everyone going like, "Oh, what's going to be the next Titan class? Oh, what's this? What's that?" And me going like, "Man, like if they do an Overlord, I'm cool with that. He's a Titan kind of dude, He's a Titan class kind of guy. I'm totally fine with that one." Where are we at here? Where are we at? Commander class, Overlord, and Six Shot. Well, Six Shot, I mean, I really think they got him right the first time. Like when they did the Titans Return Headmaster one in leader class, that was pretty darn good. I mean, I don't know where you really go from that. It was a pretty good figure to begin with. And if anything, I'd almost be worried how he would be pulled off today because plastic costs are a little more today. So I think there's certain ones that I feel they did it pretty good. And I mean, the only thing that would be different is like getting rid of gimmicks. Like, okay, it won't have the headmaster thing, but it's still a pretty good figure to begin with. And six shot, you do six shot, and then you're going to have to do, six night, and you're going to have to do, great shots and all the repaints from that. And then if you want to force feed some other stuff into there, a lot of craziness. I mean, again, Titan class, Star Convoy, that's the rumor, that's the belief. Optimus Prime Star, Star Optimus Prime, Star Convoy, whatever the trademark is, they're going to go with it. It's like I said before, show me, don't tell me. I need to see it. I need to see it. You know, I need to see it because I just that's going to be a weird one. Unless it has the most epic, amazing city mode, then that would be cool. Then that would be really cool, but I don't know. I don't know. Quick Switch, again, another repaint, which is pretty much Six Night, but in different colors, in those greens and yellows and reds, which I believe we got the Quick Switch. That was in a box set, the Titans Return one, you know? But Six Shot, that's a really good one. That's a really, really good one. That was a big figure, too. That was a big figure. It's like it was just as tall as the Overlord and some of the other leaders. It was a good time. The Titans Return era of toys, there was a lot of good ideas there that you normally would have not seen from like most of the time with Hasbro. They went with a lot of really deep cut characters and stuff that you normally would not see. So T-Formers 2002 with the YouTube member questions. Titan Return Six Shot technically doesn't even need to be a headmaster. He works fully without it. Leave the Titan Master in the head. Yeah, it's true. Well, yeah, and it makes the little dude there that he killed. But yeah, no, they're awesome. It's awesome. Like it's a really really good figure that, in all honesty, if they did another six shot, they could just take that one and get rid of the gimmick. Get rid of the head armor going down, and that's it. It would be nothing. You know, it's almost kind of like what they did with Studio Series 86 RC, where they just kind of took something that existed from the past and tooled it up a bit, but more or less it's the same figure. Thunder Clash, like T Formers 2002 says, Thunder Clash is one of those extensive retool of Motor Master. That's the easy answer, because the fact that he makes a battle station with like guns and stuff, just like the original Thunder Clash, aka Machine Wars Optimus Prime, although it had different gimmicks, but through different tooling. But still, that's the easy answer on that one. Completely retool it, and it'll look amazing. Star Warrior Prime, welcome. He is a patron. Star Warrior Prime. Power Glide, Michael Butcher, I feel is kind of in the same boat with like, Sea Spray. We're just waiting for those mini bots to happen, which will be happening sooner or later. Power Glide is in desperate need of a new figure because he got that Legends scale one, which was pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good, but not there yet. Have a nice Power Glide in that deluxe class, open chest with the heart, much like the Ultra class that we got all those years ago, which had those weird colors initially. I think it was first sold as the classics and then it became Universe, if I remember correctly, when I lived it. Wind Charger's another one that needs an update. Yeah, well, we'll see. We will definitely see. Mototron Prime with the $2 super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Mototron Prime. Proto, what are the chances of a new, better Trax mold? Mototron Prime, I have a first question. Like, people really don't like how Trax has been turning out. Like, when they did the original, like, Universe Generations one, no one liked it. Granted, it had the share mold with Wheeljack, and people didn't like the fact that it had the share mold with Wheeljack, so it kind of looked weird. People didn't like the Masterpiece. The Masterpiece was crazy how many people didn't like it. I got the Masterpiece and the Road Rage, and still to this day, I don't know why people don't like it. I think it's pretty good. And then people didn't like the Kingdom one. And I was like, wow, like, okay. The Kingdom version, I mean, I have both that and the Road Rage too, and I'm like, yeah, it's a little stubby, I guess, but I mean, the Masterpiece is really good, and you could get that pretty cheap, and it comes with a Ramirez figure and everything. It's all good. Um, T-Formers 2002, but I mean, I think they're going to do another tracks anyways because we haven't used that trademark in a while. Now the question is it going to be used for G1 tracks, or are they going to throw it on something else? Are they going to go like, oh, well, hey, remember when, you know, Crosshairs from Age of Extinction had a repaint, and that repaint was actually a Trax repaint, but we called it Hot Shot for whatever reason? Well, we're going to call it Trax now, and we're going to put it under Studio Series, Concept Art Edition. Like, you wouldn't surprise me if they would do stuff like that. T-Formers 2002 with the $5 super chat. You can make a brand new Thunder Clash mold and then make an unreleased Universe Motormaster and use the trademark again when that comes up. It's funny how that works, eh? How they're so tied to each other. And again, afterwards, T-Formers 2002, then you do a Machine Wars Optimus Prime. I want more Machine Wars love. Think about it. Since Legacy has started and we've been celebrating all the different brands of Transformers, where is my Machine Wars stuff? We got that Transformers Prime Dreadwing and Skyquake, and I was like, hey, where's my Machine Wars Starscream? We didn't get that repaint. That was like a given, no? So that the Machine Wars Starscream, give me all of those. Take one of the small jets that we're obviously going to get from the Superion coming up, turn one of those into Megatron or Skywarp or Thundercracker or Megaplex. Give me a new Megaplex. I'd love a new Megaplex. Such a funny character. I'd love to own that. You know, he's the leader of the Decepticons, but is he? You know, at least according to his bio, you know, a lot of fun stuff there. I love Machine Wars. I love the idea of Machine Wars. I love how it's a super short Transformer line that's so easy to collect because it literally only is eight, eight, and then four. So it's like it's only 12 figures, you know? Crazy. Love it. And then if you want to be technical, you could use a laser rod uh not electro, laser rod jolt as like a hot rod just because the Formula Ones use the same box art. Very, very cool. Main problem with Kingdom Tracks is I find are the legs. Everyone complains about the legs. Everyone complains how he was short, how he's kind of funky. I believe was it the Road Rage that had the date stamp, the factory stamp on it right on the front? Was it? I think it was the Road Rage. Can't see the legs from here in my display, but one of them had the factory stamp right on the front, which is talk about stupid. That's like, put it on the back or something, but like right on the front in your display, you have like 465 to 43. That's so silly. That's like something you would see like in a display model at like Toy Fair or something. You're not on the final product. But yeah, Michael Butcher, what's a new metropolitan? I think you mean Metroplex. if uh if autocorrect was messing with you. Well, Metroplex, I think we're just waiting for that trademark to go up again, and then we'll probably get something. Because I mean, that Cybertron one that they did in Legacy bought them 4 years, and that's no one was asking for a Cybertron Metroplex. And I'm not throwing shade at Cybertron Metroplex or Galaxy Force Gigolo Convoy, but let's be real, no one was asking for that. It's just they were like, let's buy some time. Let's do something different and buy some time. Metro Titan. Well, we'll get a Metro Titan when we get the next Metroplex. We almost got. I did a segment about this. Like, if you actually look in the search, go on YouTube and type search Transformers Slag podcast Metro Titan. There was a bot shot that was literally created to then register the Metro Titan trademark. And I firmly believe in like the domino effect of things. Don't quote me on this. By that bot shot not getting released and the trademark not happening, we ended up never getting a Metro Titan repaint from the old Generations one from all those years ago. The Twins corner of Delta and Omega with the Super Chat. How you doing, Twins? Hope to see you in Baltimore next week or so. the week after that, excuse me. What's the status on Transformers 1? Is it hitting streaming soon or will we be getting a sequel? Well, it's not done its run just yet. Some countries have still yet to get the movie. I know that my local cinema still has it in theaters. And I actually, if I play my cards right, and I hope it's still there on Monday, I think I want to go see it one more time on Monday before I call it quits, like before I'm done seeing it in theaters. So until it's 100% out of theaters, and my cinemas are like the big cinemas, like they're big Montreal cinemas from big companies. So if they're still playing it, it's still in the circulation. You know, we're not talking like your mom and pop dollar cinema or something where like stuff that's on its way out is there. So if it's still there Monday, I still have hope. As for a sequel, I mean, let's be real. Um, Movies that sucked got sequels. Movies that lost money in Hollywood have gotten sequels. So it'd be a travesty if this one doesn't get it. I'm hoping that it breaks even because right now, even though it's past its budget, it still has to make up for all that damn marketing that they did, sending around all those actors to do all those skits and all that stuff. And you know that cost money. So, look, they sent the trailer into space with NASA. That wasn't going to be cheap. Let's be real. How much do you think that cost? You know? So that's a lot of, I don't know, that's a lot of money that they're going to have to catch up on, which is concerning. And one day I hope that we learn what those real numbers were in the end with marketing. And then whoever worked in Paramount gets fired. Fired. I always say, like, some people, they just fake it till they make it. And if there's one thing I've seen with Hollywood now, especially with a lot of big budget movies, you'll see like directors that have no work experience. Like they're a director of this multi-million dollar high budget like movie and they have no experience prior to it. They did no small films, they did no like indie films. It's like this is their directing debut. And it's like, "What?" So, I mean, and if that happens on the directorial level, I can't imagine. I can't imagine what's going on in the closed like exec offices. All those guys that are around tables that don't belong there. I could only imagine how many guys sucked their way up to the top. And they're, hey, you, Johnson, you're going to be in charge of marketing for Transformers 1. Okay, sir, I love the GoBots. The GoBots were great. My favorite Transformer was Loco. Yeah, sure, whatever, kid, go do your thing. That's the problem. Is sometimes you have the wrong people for the wrong job, and our beloved the brands, they suffer for it. They just do. So, but we will see. We will see. Again, I'm going to do like I call it a denouement. Denouement is like French for like the after story. Like the end of, like after the end of a climax of a movie, there's that ending of it before the credits roll. That's a denouement. So like I'm going to do a denouement of Transformers 1 when it leaves theaters. When it's done, I'm going to do a segment really talking about what went right, what went wrong, where I think the future is going to be, and because I really want to get that final number when it's finally out of theaters. I did a denouement for Rise of the Beast. Same thing. Like I waited until Rise of the Beast was done, like done. And then I did a talk about it, about how it wasn't successful and stuff. What's up, Aaron? Gave you a whole push and everything. I've been trying to message you, because we got to talk business. So, but it's just, you know, and again, here, might as well just put up the slide. Go check out Aaron at TFCon Baltimore and all this stuff. 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, what? But yeah, like I'm gonna do like a denouement for sure. But when Monday comes, I'm gonna go to my the biggest theater in Montreal, the Scotiabank, and I'm gonna see what's happening. One of my one of my old classmates from high school, her younger sister works at that theater, and what's cool about her? Shout out to you, Alana. I love you. Every time they get rid of the posters, which when you go to a theater, those posters that are in like the marquee there, they're actually double sided. So she would get me those high quality double sided posters, and I have a whole bunch of Transformer ones. She would try to get me all of them if the other employees don't get to them first. And I'm gonna go ask him, be like, what's happening with one? How's it going? Like, is it leaving soon? Is it not leaving? so we could get the whole story. Uh, where are we at? But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. What's up, Patrick? Better late than never, my friend. Tom McNeil, Transformers 1 is still showing in downtown Toronto too. Well, that's why. Like, it was still showing in Montreal as of last week. As of last week, it was still showing. Come Monday, I'm going to open up the app. I'm going to call Alana. I'm going to try to figure out what's happening. What's happening? Is it still that? Is it still on? Is it still? Because I want to watch it one more time. I want to see it one more time in theaters before I'm like, okay, I'm done. Now I'm willing to wait until it's done its run. I've done my part. Now I've seen it 5 times, and then that'll be that. You know, that'll be that. Uh, Except I'd probably be seeing it during a matinee, so I wouldn't be helping it as much. I couldn't be giving it the maximum dollar. Tom Laney. So they did a repaint of most of the Titans. Why does Triptychon get something mini cassette colors? Triptychon needs to just get the Gigastorm repaint treatment. Brand little horn. Look up Google Gigastorm. Gigastorm from Beast Wars Second. I'm surprised they didn't do that one. I think primary why they didn't do it is because Gigastorm isn't a Titan class character. Uh, Despite the fact that it used the Triptychon mold, the original G1 1986 one, in the show he was a smaller character. So that's the primary reason why I think they didn't do a repaint, because lore wise it didn't make sense really. But we'll see. We'll see. We will see. But it's been a while since Hasbro used Broadside. Does Hasbro still have the trademark? Yes, they do. So what happened is they registered it in 2016. It ran its course, expired, and then it got refreshed in 2021. And guess what? We'll probably see a Broadside either next year or in the clutch of next year, meaning like the last Q4 of 2025. So stay tuned for something for sure. And again, will it be a triple changer? Will it be a Titan class? Or maybe it just might be a little, you know, PVC figure or something. Whatever they want to throw it on. And it's happened before. The funny thing is, like, a lot of our deluxe Insecticons, they kept those trademarks alive by just putting it on weird stuff forever, like literally forever. Literally forever. So, I mean, I love Broadside. Easily, probably, of the Autobot triple changers, I think he's probably my favorite. I know Springer's cool too. Don't get me wrong, and I know David Cabal will kill me because that's his favorite character. But I mean, I really like Broadside. I've always felt Sandstorm has been kind of the weakest of the three, even though he had an interesting dynamic with uh with Octane, and it kind of had that like cool, like, oh, little Autobot Decepticon friendship there. But I don't know, Broadside's always been a very interesting character, and not to mention the fact that Broadside actually has like a Decepticon equivalency and Broadswipe. That's a real thing. Look it up. That kind of adds to it too. You could do a repaint with that. You have Broadswipe. You have, I mean, if you want to take the mini version of tidal wave that comes with the big tidal wave and turn that into Broadswipe, and the big version could be broadside. You know, if they do a repaint retool, there's a lot of different things they could do there. Modutron, being a triple changer, he's probably be a smallish Titan. Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, I've always imagined Broadside as a Titan class character. I mean, there's been a lot of times, especially in the Headmasters Japanese cartoon, where the triple changers are all next to each other and they're all the same size. And then here's Broadside fighting combiners. I mean, Transformers with height. It's always a nightmare. It's always a nightmare with scale. There's a great photo. It's Omega Supreme sitting with Optimus Prime on the grass, just talking about Omega Supreme's origin. I think it was called The Origin of Omega Supreme, that episode. And like he's only like slightly bigger than Optimus, like a Skyfire kind of size, if anything. So, where are we at? Hope I didn't miss any questions. We need a good Octane. Oh yeah, Octane and Blitzwing are always the two toughest triple changers to do something good because one mode is always going to suffer. And I don't know, like broadside, especially, like he does it kind of good. You know, Springer, because his alt modes are ambiguous anyways, it's a good helicopter and it's a it's a helicopter car, which is his car mode because it's just a helicopter without the blades really and the rudder. All the other ones, Astro Train, out of all the triple changers, Astro Train's I always felt was the best. Best design, best, character. I've always kind of liked Astro Train. Also because I think he was my first triple changer I ever owned. So, but yeah, broad swipe's a real thing. Look it up. It's a real thing. It was created by the Japanese because when they were dubbing in Japan season 3, season 3, it was filled with a million animation errors. So there was one scene where, for whatever reason, a broadside colored ship came to pick up Cyclonus on Char from the Decepticons, and it didn't make sense. So the Japanese, the way they interpreted it as, it's like, oh, well, isn't that broadside? Well, we can't say it's broadside because he's never been established as like a double agent. So they made it as a separate character called Broad Swipe. It's a real thing. Deep cut today. Commander class Octane? No, that's too crazy. In all the stuff that we could get for commander classes, I mean, the last thing we want to do is like start taking triple changers and putting them in the commander class price point. And in all honesty, out of all of them, the only commander class that makes sense as a commander, a triple changer as a commander, would be like something like an Astro Train, where he's big enough that he could have an opening door and you could put your little core classes inside. That'd be pretty cool. Or a Titan class, but I mean, a Titan class Astro Train, geez. Jeez. But you know what? Never say never. Never say never, because you never know. Brodo Swipe. Swipe. Brodo Swipe. Tom Laney, would you like throttle bots to be done? Maybe with a mini spy set. I would love it if the mini spies came back. I'm surprised that is one of the deep cut characters that never happened were the mini spies. And give them names finally. You know? But yeah, Throttlebots, of course. And again, I think I've said this before on the live stream. The Throttlebot trademarks, a lot of them they still have. Overload, Roll Bar, Chase they still have. Obviously, Goldbug they just recently used. Who am I leaving out? Searchlight? Like Searchlight, I think the last time Hasbro used that was Power Core Combiners, though. So I think that one's done. That one's definitely expired, but they could bring it back. But I mean, there's a lot of trademarks that are still kicking around that they could use. So that's a possibility. And I mean, I'm surprised they didn't just milk that Cliff Jumper mold even more from Earthrise. Freeway, thank you. No, I forget. That's the white one that gets yellow plastic syndrome every time. But that's why didn't they just take like that Cliff Jumper and just go across, do them all, do them all, do them all. I can't see my mini bots from here. You could barely see Mr. Orange over there, aka Overload, and you could kind of see Searchlight a little bit in front of the Dino cassettes. But bring back Erector. I was responsible for all the third-party Erector stuff over the last 10 years. I wrote everything Erector. If you get a Transformer Slag Podcast Patreon gift box, it has an Erector trading card with it every single time. I worked on TFCon Mini Body Rector. I worked on Masterpiece Erector. Yes, there is a Masterpiece Erector from TFCon. It's called Shafter. That's its trademark name. What else did I work on with that silly guy? I did all the comics with him. Let me grab one of them. Again, if you're part of the the Transformer Slag Podcast Patreon, and you're a part of the gift box thing, there's the Erector, and then we did a comic with Alex Milne and Josh Perez together. Very cool. I wrote this one. Let me find a nice Erector scene. Oh, there we go. Look at them fighting. Him and Axis. Good Alex Milnar. And he did it in Ben Day coloring. Actually, that's Josh Perez that did the coloring. Very, very cool. Very cool. Plug the Patreon. Yeah. I think I usually bring a stack of those to TFCon, usually the cell, but like usually I only bring it to the Toronto shows because to bring a stack of them through customs. Why do you have so many comics with you of all the same one? Uh to give them away because you can't say that you're selling them. You'll get in trouble. You're going there to make money? Not on our dollar Canadian, you Canuck. That's why whenever I'm selling stuff at the American shows, people are like, "Do you take Interact or do you take Venmo?" I'm like, "Bro, I can't have any paper trail saying that I'm making money while I'm on this side of the globe. They will freak out. They're going to look at my credit card statement or my bank statement and see money go in there, and they're going to be like, whoa, 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 what's going on?" You know? So I have to always work with cash, unfortunately. That's just how it is. Which, by the way, next week, we're going to be revealing the Baltimore TFCon exclusive at my table with Aaron. So stay tuned for that. That'll be next week. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be awesome. If you have been a patron for more than a year and you are going to be at Baltimore, you'll be able to get one for free. It's actually a pair. It's very cool. I can't wait to show you guys. But yeah, Revenue Canada doesn't care. Revenue Canada is awesome, and I'm listed as a 1099. I mean, I can't reach my business card. One moment. Whatever. Yeah. But like, I'm registered as a 1099 business with Revenue Canada, so they're cool, you know. But when you go to the States, you have to like, they're gonna bug you. They're gonna bug you when you cross the border, even at customs when you're flying. So you can't mess with that. You can't. So that's why I don't like to bring a ton of stuff with me. Because I just bring little things here and there, and that's that. I'm more worried when I bring food over the border. That's the stuff that they freak out more over anything. But yeah, so we're gonna have an exclusive. We're gonna reveal it next week. So come by next week, next Saturday. We will be revealing it, and it'll be the exclusive at Baltimore. And we'll see what happens in terms of everything else after. If you are a Patreon member and you can't be at Baltimore, again, after I reveal it, if you are interested and you're a Patreon person, contact me and maybe we could work something out. I know people are going to really want this one though. So that's what I'm kind of worried about. So that's why, like, there's only so many I could give away. There's only so many that I could ship out. And then there's only so many I could sell at the show. So, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good. T Formers 2002. I've only ever met you in Canada, so Baltimore will be odd to see you on my home soil. Well, I mean, I try to get to every TFCon and Transformer convention in North America. It's just the Big V kind of screwed up everything. I used to have like a perfect record of going to all of them. I didn't go to the last TFCon LA because again, the Big V, and I didn't go to the recent BotCon, which I would have liked to go. I would have liked to go. That would have been fun, but next time we will see. We will see next time. The Twins Corner with the gold super chat. Thank you, Twins Corner. We need a plan for a Transformer One party at TFCon Baltimore Saturday night, perhaps. Well, right now I need to figure out first what's happening with the digital release of Transformers One. If it's not in theaters, I don't want to do anything illegal per se. Let's put it that way. But if there is a digital release by the time Baltimore rolls around, we will do some kind of viewing party. Maybe we'll try to work something out. We'll get it on a laptop and we'll attach it to a big screen TV, and we'll do a nice big like group screening in someone's hotel room or something. What I'll do probably if I have it all figured out, I'll tweet it out. It'll be on my Twitter. That will probably be the best way for me to get it out there. But that again, if it's in that legality sense, because I don't want to play with fire. Joseph Ryder with the gold super chat. How you doing, Joseph? When Mario 64 came out, I thought games could never look better. Do you think we will look back on the current Transformers and think they are crap compared to what comes in the future? Well, I mean, let's put it this way: we have masterpiece Transformers, And a lot of times the masterpiece Transformers, not always, looking at Hot Rod Studio series, but a lot of times the masterpiece Transformers are better than anything that we put out today. So it's not so much will we think they're crap or not, it's affordability. It's something where, we get more video games than we ever do now, but are they better? And graphics, when it comes to video games, in my opinion, do not so much make if a game is good or not. Some of my favorite games ever made, the last thing they are is about realistic graphics. Look at some of the greatest games of all time. Ocarina of Time, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VI, Mega Man X, Super Mario 2, excuse me, Super Mario 3, Super Mario World. That's the short list. I know there's, other stuff that could go on there too. And graphics is not one of them. Gameplay is a big part of it. So, big part of it. But I don't think people will look back at the old trend. If anything, I mean, I look at some of the stuff from like, even like I look at the plastic quality of like the Unicron trilogy era, you know? And I go like, man, why can't we go back to that? Oh, wait, we can't because that would cost every deluxe class would then be like $80 today because plastic is so expensive now. So, if anything, I think as time progresses and plastic becomes more and more expensive, aside from us normalizing deluxe figures being $50 one day, but aside that from happening, which will happen one day, hey, get your new deluxe class hot rod, 49.99 at Walmart. Excuse me, it'll be 49.97 at Walmart. Heaven help us all when that day comes. Heaven help us all. But yeah, T-Formers 2002. Pretty sure the DVD release is supposed to be a Tuesday, right? Well, that's why there's the steel book. Thank you, by the way, Joseph, for the question. The steel book does have a release date, but that could be changed, and that's through Amazon. I actually pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered the Steelbook already, which comes with the 4K, the Blu-ray, the DVD, the download code. So I mean, hey, if it releases before, I take that download code, it goes in the old laptop, and then we're good to go, and everything is nice and legal. Hasbro, don't sue me. uh, uh, but yeah, so or Paramount. But it's something where we'll see. We're still 2 weeks away from like we do it on like a Saturday night. So like 2 weeks from now, we'll have an answer for sure. 2 weeks from now, we'll have that. Tom Laney, biodegradable materials. Enjoy a couple of months before it degrades into nothing. You mean that's not happening already with some of the figures? With the plastisol breaking down and clear plastics breaking? Who knows? Who knows? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we enter the 3D printing era where we're all just going to be making stuff from home and the quality won't be as good, but at least we won't have to leave the house. I compare it to how my father looks at diecast. Like he looks at the new diecast stuff that comes out now, and he's like, "Oh, it's so crap to what used to be in retail when I was a kid." And I'll be honest with him, he's right. I mean, if you look at the 1 by 64 scale stuff we get today of like Hot Wheels and Matchbox, I got one right here. This is a Sonic City one. Um, but you look at what it is today, and then you look at what they used to get in the 60s and the 50s, and you're like, oh my god. But diecast was cheap and plentiful back then, so it was a different animal, you know, different animal completely. Uh, where are we at? Where are we at? Pretty sure, yeah. So I mean, we'll see what happens. We will see. We will see. It's something that I'll definitely have a definitive answer by the time I'm on the plane going to Baltimore. Let's put it that way, because I'll already have the laptop ready if need be with the download code. So, but my goal right now, more than anything, is let's see what's happening Monday with the release of the movie if it's still in theaters. You know, that's my first like big. Ooh, let's see what's happening with that. Mike Prime 21. I'm hoping for a HasLab Trainbot Raiden. I would not. I'd have to wait a bit for that. We just got the masterpiece, like you just said. Let it cook for a little bit. and they're still looking at the limbs and doing this and that with the Diaclone colors. So, Mike, you might have to wait 3-4 years before that happens. And I'll be honest with you, trains in America is always difficult, and that's why Raiden was what it was. I love the Raiden. I think it's cool. I'm a big train guy. I love trains. Choo choo, you know. But I don't know. Motortron, thank you for being a member, YouTube member. Proto, can cogless blockies work with TF1 Deluxes? I think the best, if you want cogless versions of the characters, the YOLO Park model kits, I think, have the best visual. The blockies, while they are tiny, um, I find the proportions are a little different. One moment. I'm going to get a blocky and I'll show you. One moment, my friends. One moment. Mm, mm, Blocky, blocky. So, uh, this is the full size one. This is the blocky that most people are familiar with, the smaller ones. So this is what you're probably referring to because this is what the Transformer 1 is. But here's the problem. Here's the Transformer 1, let's say. Let's pretend this is like the Orion Pax. And then here's your Optimus. So yeah, it could work because remember when he was with Jazz, he towered over everybody in the Autobot bunker scene before he rallied the troops. But I mean, that YOLO Park one looks really good too. So I'm kind of conflicted. If the YOLO Park one was a little bit shorter for scale wise, it would be perfect. The blocky ones are really cool, but their aesthetic is not from the accuracy that I want. So, but they're really cool. You know, Ninjatron, you should do a super cut of all of my weird quotes that I do in all my live streams. There's always some kind of weird cut. I know Joseph when I was at San Diego Comic-Con. What did I say? Street Sharks, yo. I said something like that. Street Sharks, yo. Street Sharks or something. I said some stupid thing like that. It's like, yo, it's Street Sharks, yo. But I mean, and don't get me wrong, I love the blockies. I think that they are so cool. They are like the quality is absolutely. This is the shattered glass one. You know, they're amazing. They are absolutely amazing. They're super fun. They're super easy. You need zero modeling experience in order to assemble them. But at the same time, like, it's the aesthetic is more SD a little bit. It's more squat, where the YOLO Park ones are like the animation model. And I always kind of lean more towards accuracy. Uh, oh, you got some Street Sharks. Very good. I got everything that exists currently, and then some. Proto out of context quotes, says Timmy K. Oh, there's tons of them. There's tons of them. The live stream is always just me having fun on the weekend with you guys, talking Transformers, but also talking other stuff, talking all kinds of things. I was watching recently, the Larry Bird Legends of Basketball 2-disc collection. Was kicking back and watching that. Was was a quiet week before New York Comic Con dropped in our lap, and then we got all our news on Friday and Saturday. Proto, what did you eat for dinner? Uh, Went to the supermarket today, and I always check out the red meat section when stuff is on like crazy clearance because it's like gonna go bad the next day. And they had two delicious Angus steaks, two big ones, two big ones, two big ones. There you could quote that one. Two big Angus steaks for 7.99 Canadian, and they were delicious. So I made that good old Angus steaks. Put some salt, some pepper, chop up some garlic, mince it up, put a stick of butter, not a whole stick of butter, but a little bit of butter in the pan. Let that all sizzle together with the Angus steak. Move it around with the garlic. Put a little bit of more of ground pepper. Good stuff. For like $4 Canadian, which is like nothing American, like 250 American, all because it wasn't going to be good tomorrow. Amazing. Amazing. Some good clean protein. Don't let anyone tell you anything about red meat, you know? Two big meats in each hand. I got big hands actually. Two big meaty hands. But it was really good. It was really, really good. So I had that with broccoli. Broccoli was on sale too, and an orange juice. That was my supper more or less. I tried to keep it light with some orange juice. And tomorrow, because I'm going to be going to my mother-in-law's, so I wouldn't be surprised if I have some Vietnamese food or something. I don't know what. She makes an amazing pho, homemade pho. She makes Vietnamese spring rolls, Vietnamese egg rolls, che ba mao. She makes all kinds of good stuff. So I don't know. I'm going to be going to her tomorrow because got to do some new customizing. What a surprise! She sews. If you know, you know. Um, but so she's going to be doing some new additions to the collection. I'm going to put some stuff on the back finally. It's been too barren. You'll see. I'm going to surprise people come Baltimore. Whole bunch of new additions of cool stuff. I have like no joke. I have like 10 different new patches that are going to be put on here. Really, I'm going to move some things around. Move a whole bunch. Look at that. It goes all the way up. Yeah. Yeah, people that never saw these. But yeah, so I had the steaks. Good steaks. Aside from that, I don't know. I didn't buy much this week. Like I bought a lot of my groceries last week. We always go to Costco and really like we buy a ton of eggs. Like like you could buy like it's like almost like it's like 3 cartons of eggs in one or something. We buy like two of those every 2 weeks because we eat a lot of eggs, especially egg white. You know. Um, what else? What else? What else did we get? We got a lot of stuff. Not to mention again because I'm going to be going to Baltimore. I always bring. I'd love to show you guys this in person, but it's almost kind of a hazard around people. Self-heating Asian food, which comes like this with this little bomb in the packaging that you add water to it and it has a chemical reaction and everything. It's really cool. I always bring those with when I go on vacation to places, just if I need like a quick meal or something for some protein and rice. And it's always good. Always good stuff. So I had to pick that up. Picked up jerky. Whenever I travel, I bring jerky with me if I need protein on the go, but I don't have a fridge or anything. So I always have some jerky with me. It's not good to eat that the rest of the year because jerky is filled with sodium nitrates and poisons and stuff. But to have it once a year or twice a year won't kill you. Like anything in life, it's always about balance. You could have a cake, you could have this, but once in a while. The only thing that I'm not a fan of is like pastas and lasagnas and stuff like that. That stuff is glue. And if you want to feel full over a long period of time, have pasta. If you want to also feel like you're never going to lose weight and you'll just feel bloated forever, also have pasta. So, hope I'm not insulting my Italian friends. Pizza is awesome, you know. Gnocchi is not bad too, even though it's kind of also a pasta in a small sense. But never been a fan of it. Never been a fan. Um, Mike says I'm doing egg roll in my bowl for lunch at work. Very good. It's all about moderation except transformer collecting. Then it's all in. Well, even that's moderation. Even that's moderation, my friend. Even that's moderation. At one point in my life, and I've told this story many times before, but during the Energon era, I used to get my paycheck. Like it started, like I got my first job, like my first serious job. Growing up, I had little jobs here and there. I worked for a school. I did a little bit of gardening here and got paid. Did that. I worked for a telemarketing place. Did this. But then I got like my first serious, nonstop, consistent paycheck job, which was Burger King. Everyone's heard the Proto Man Burger King stories. But when I got that consistent paycheck and I knew that every 2 weeks I'd have $500, yes, $500 every 2 weeks, you know. But when you live at your parents and you don't pay rent and there's no such thing as cell phone bills yet, and you don't pay the internet, and you don't pay the heating, that $500 is all yours to go crazy. And I would blow it. What's the latest Armada toys? Buy it all. Buy it all. And I did that all the way up until the middle of Energon. I was buying everything early Energon, and then I went to my first BotCon, and the first BotCon I was like, stuff's really cheap here. Then I went to my second BotCon, and that's when the epiphany happened. And then I went, oh my God, everything is like 50% loose here than MSRP retail. And it's a year later. And I was just like, okay. So then third year BotCon, which we were like right in the knee of Energon, like right in the middle of it. I was like, okay, I'm not buying mega scale or ultra class or anything like that, or the big guys. Wait for sales. And then I started being more frugal. And oh my God, did I save money? I still ended up getting everything, but man, did I start saving money. Man, did I start saving money. And, for every one figure that got away that maybe ended up becoming a lot of money, I saved hundreds of dollars with stuff that is on sale. So never buy it all. That's a big mistake. Not to mention, we don't have the space for it, you know? And if you have extra instructions that you don't need, bring them to Aaron Archer. He'll use them. Cringe McCringle, I remember when I bought everything from Earthrise to Legacy in 1 year. God, I was wasting so much money. Yeah, totally. And you know what's crazy is when you look back and you go, 90% of that, now that it's loose, is worth like a quarter of what you paid when it was new. Like if you bought a deluxe class for like $24.99, most of those, not all of them, but most of them, you probably are struggling to sell them for $10, you know? So you lost already more than 50%. And we're not even talking about taxes per state. We're just talking straight up. Let's just talk the MSRP. Like you're easily losing. Space is always a big issue. Look, guys, I bought a house because of my collection. No joke. No joke. I will say it with my freaking wife standing there. She knows we bought this house because of my hobby. She knows it. She knows it. I'm a crazy man who's the one in charge, but she knows it. We bought this house for my crazy collection. That's all it was, because it grows. And when I was living with my parents, I was in the basement, but my father's collection was in the basement. And we were slowly encroaching on each other. He had his room with all his vinyl records and diecast, and I had my Transformers and everything else that I collected. And slowly we were encroaching on the hallway. Oh, he's going to put the gramophone. Oh, I'm going to put some Armada toys. Oh, he's putting a whole bunch of his car books and stuff. Oh, I'm putting some Energon toys and some alternators. It was encroaching. It was getting crazy. It was getting absolutely crazy. You know what, guys? In all honesty, find a state in the United States that has extremely cheap housing, because a lot of times people always go, oh, I'll never be a homeowner. Oh, I'll never be a homeowner. No, you'll never be a homeowner if you try to live in New York City. But there's a lot of flyover states. There's a lot of, Midwest states and stuff like that, that there's really cheap housing you could get. And in all honesty, if you buy a house for like, no joke, 50K, and it's the middle of nowhere, bro, that's a storage locker. Just go put all your stuff there. You know what I mean? And then come back to it in 5 years. And then if you don't want it anymore, hey, good stuff. Good stuff. Someone said Night Force Ninjas. Where? And Night Force Ninjas. Ah, you talking about my collection, Aaron? Well, I always keep one nearby. Mind you, this is from the Kenner Dark Knight collection days. Love those. Good old Dark Knight collection. You started with Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, but which one day I'd like to get. Maybe I'll get some art from you of that stuff. That'd be cool. Get myself a Chris O'Donnell. It's very Nightwing. Why lag why? Never going to be a homeowner here in Cali. Well, that's because you're in Cali. And in all honesty, I wouldn't invest in California. California is great to visit, but I would never recommend like buying there. There a lot of, you know what? Here's a little secret. Whenever you see all the celebrities moving out and buying elsewhere, they know 5, 10 years before we get to know. All you have to do is look at their actions. That's it. Oh, that's weird. All these celebrities are selling their houses in California and buying stuff in Texas. What do they know that we don't? Doesn't matter. We don't need to know what they know. Just do what they're doing because clearly something's going on. So, but there is cheaper places. You go to like some flyover states. I mean, I'm not going to talk about their private life 100%, but Mikey and Louie, who's in the chat here today, they recently bought a new house, and I was looking over some of the houses they were looking at, and there was some really cheap stuff that was really nice. The only thing was they were in the middle of nowhere, so that's always an issue when it's in the middle of nowhere. Then you have to ask yourself, how much do you care about a downtown or something? Where's cheap housing in Canada? None of it. In all honesty, in all honesty, if it's not Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, Vancouver, Victoria, and Calgary, most of it is pretty cheap. I'm pretty sure you could get nothing in Saskatchewan. No one wants to live in 99% of anything north of the Golden Shoe, if you know what that is. It's like here's Quebec, here's Ontario, like Toronto's like somewhere here, Montreal where I am is somewhere here, and then north of the Golden Shoe is all of this, which is north of everything. Most Canadians don't live north of the Golden Shoe. Why? Because it's too effing cold. So why would you want to own a house there? Because it's cheap. Where Goober lives. Geez, Goober lives in Winnipeg. Pays nothing. Nothing. Because no one wants to live in Winnipeg. Except maybe Chris Jericho, who doesn't even live there anymore, even though he was born there. So, I just lost all the people who don't know wrestling. Eyes on the ACI, moved to NC, my mortgage, and then see rent for studio apartment. There you go. Well, New York City is a meme. New York City is a meme. If you live in New York City, it's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you there? You must really love the Nintendo store to live in New York City, because why else? You love seeing rats the size of a freaking cat, because I saw that with my own two eyes near the Jarvis Center. I was literally walking out of the Jarvis Center at night, and there was a rat next to the garbage. I swear to God, the size of like a giant like roll or a loaf of bread. And I was like, "Damn, Splinter, where are you going? What's up, young Winter Peg? Oh yeah, what photo of Winnipeg is not winter? You know, there's the old Chris Jericho quote. I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot. Go back to Toronto. From Winnipeg, you idiot. That's a great clip because all Canadians are from Toronto. From Montreal, you idiot. I mean, it's one of these things where if you had unlimited money, but you had to live in only one place in the world, where would it be? And then you have to ask yourself why, you know? New York City metros, young, are disgusting. Ugh. And confusing. The way that some tracks are going both ways and you got to know which track is going where. Japan and Montreal, they got like two of the best subway systems in the world. Like they know what's up. But mind you, Montreal stole it from Japan, to be fair. So Montreal looked at Japan and went, like what you guys are doing. We're just gonna copy your notes. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. We'll change it a little bit. So they knew what was up with that. There's another good one. Damn, Splinter, where are you going? You just made the list. Tom Laney, thanks for all you do, Proto. Enjoy the rest of your weekend later on. What are we done with time? Oh, we got 15 minutes left. Well, take care, Tom. Got 15 minutes left. Yeah, it was. I'll answer this non-member one, JR. Literally in Canada, there's literally like 4 or 5 cities worth their name. I'll be honest, and I don't want to sound like a dick. It's like it's Montreal, it's Toronto. Ottawa might be our capital, but it's boring. It is boring. I don't ever go to Ottawa. Ottawa is an hour and a half away from me. I have friends that live there, and every time I go there, I go, "What the hell do I do in Ottawa?" There is nothing. They have one comic store in the whole city. Shout out to Comic Book Shop with an E at the end. It's the only good store there. The rest of the city is balls. You know when you're going to McDonald's to eat for fun that you've made a bad mistake for your weekend vacation, and the one Toys R Us next to it. Ugh, what a boring city. How is that our nation's capital? Disgusting. Dark Star 777 with the gold $10 super chat. Dark Star, how you doing? East Coast here, live in GA, SC, and NC. So GA is Georgia, SC is South Carolina, NC I'm going to think is North Carolina. This is my Canadian knowing American geography, right? And then FL is obviously Florida. Um Lots of stuff to do. I'm waiting for the next TFCon in Florida. Well, next TFCon in Florida, we don't know yet. Knowing how things go, because it's always like east, west, east, west. We're going back to LA. I don't know. I'm going to take a guess. Probably back to Chicago again. Don't quote me on it. I'm not a source for that, but just a vibe here. I think it might go back to Chicago. Ottawa closes shop at 6 p.m. every day. Dude, it's boring as hell. There's nothing to do there. Good Lord. I'm better off going to Plattsburgh, New York than Ottawa. And that's saying something because Plattsburgh is balls too. Uh, you live in Ottawa in the USA. Ottawa, USA, huh? Yeah. Aaron, what did you write? I earned a Batman KFN patch. Oh, you want a Batman patch? Well, I got that one there. That was the only vintage one I could find online. I would love it if it was the logo, like the old 89 logo, because I love that movie. Like that we call it the mouth, as you would say. Yeah. Love that one. I want to get that one. I'll put it somewhere on the back. That'd be cool. A good pat. Every time I find one online, like people are like it's a vintage one and they're asking way too much. It's like vintage, cloth patch 1989 Warner Brothers. It's like $80. Yeah, I'm not going to pay $80 to sew it onto a jacket. Yeah. So, it's the same thing like there's a guy that's selling like some old G1 patches and it's like, yeah, forget about it. Not paying $140 for some patches. Uh Darkstar says, met you and Aaron Archer at TFCon, had the Armada Legacy Optimus. It was very good meeting you guys. Well, that's very cool, my friend. Which one? You had the big one, mint in box? I remember someone brought a big Armada Optimus mint in box and got Aaron to sign that one, if I remember correctly. But oh no, wait, that was Toronto, I think. I think that was Toronto. I have a vague memory of that one. That guy brought a bunch of stuff. I think that was the Chinese guy though. That was the guy who comes from China that brings all his stuff. Cringe McCringle, if it goes back to Chicago, you can visit all the Dark of the Moon film locations. Okay. The Chicago location's okay. I mean, I still think, and again, not that I would live there, but I like the LA location best. I think that as a guest or an attendee, it's the most comfortable for us because you have the hotel, but then outside the hotel, there's tons of stuff that's walking distance that you could do in terms of food and entertainment and stuff like that. It's kind of like the very last BotCon that they did in where was it? It was so good. Kentucky. They did it in Kentucky, and like it was like right outside the Kentucky Derby and stuff, and downtown Kentucky, and there was like tons of stuff you could do. Those are the best weekends. If you get a really good city that at least has like a busy nightlife, you could do good stuff. Or you could be HasCon that did it in downtown Rhode Island, bleh, where there's one bar and nothing to do that whole weekend. Oh God, we all stayed in our Airbnb watching Dave Chappelle. We were so bored. Good Lord. Good Lord. Tom McNeil. I've been to Ottawa twice for Winterlude because I had friends that were nuts. More like they were going nuts because they live in Ottawa. But yeah, it's like, like I said, Montreal, Toronto, you don't count Ottawa. Calgary is garbage. I'm sorry. Look, Bret Hart, I love Bret Hart. He's my hero. He's born in Calgary. Calgary is garbage. It's overpriced and they tricked people to move there. And you're paying $9 for a 2 liter of milk and they jack the prices on everything. Winnipeg is boring. Saskatchewan is boring. And then you go to Vancouver, and Vancouver, yeah, the weather is nice. You never really experience winter there. That's great. But what's your mortgage for the month? Oh, I don't know, like $8,000 a month for like a hole in the wall. And Victoria's boring. And that's Canada in a nutshell, the second largest country in the world, and 90% of it is not inhabitable because it's all penguins and polar bears. So it's like Toronto and Montreal. That's it, really. Toronto and Montreal, and a little bit of Vancouver if you have money. That's it. Those are the only three places, in my opinion. Sure, you might come from some small town and say otherwise, but go live where I live, or Toronto or Vancouver, and then we'll see. Well, young Vancouver is Asian Central. You know that more than anybody. Young. You know, depending on where you are, you're on the West Coast. You know, you're literally like a boat ride away from literally every single hub. Where are we at? T-Formers 2002. If the pattern continues next year, TFCon October is Chicago, followed by Orlando in 2026, then Baltimore in 2027. Yeah, you could kind of see T-Former just knows what's up. You could kind of see a pattern that usually happens. There's popular locations that are always revisited. It's kind of like how every year it's Toronto. Every year it's Colin, the guy who runs TFCon, asked me many years ago, what if we did a TFCon Montreal instead of Toronto? And I said, absolutely not. Just keep it in Toronto and that's it. You're going to have to deal with language laws. There's no parking, forget about it. Like, we're too busy a city to do a convention. Like, just keep it in Toronto, keep it simple. It's easier for people to get to it anyways. If you're in Detroit, if you're in Chicago, you got a good hub there. It's just better that way. Just way better that way. Been to all those places. I've been to so many places. Before the year is up, I'm going to be in Japan too. So maybe Young will come with. Young, why don't you come with us to Japan with Lou? We'll bring Ernesto. We'll all go to Japan. Lou has to go buy a house there because houses are really cheap right now. We'll go buy a Japanese summer home in Okinawa, and then we'll have a place we could stay every time we go to Japan. Transformatics. I live in Vancouver, North Delta area. Unfamiliar with that one, Transformatics. But again, great weather there. I won't take that away from Vancouver. It could be a little gray, though. Could be a little gray at times, a lot of overcast. But not having winter, that's always good. I love going to True and Richmond. Gotta love going to True. Time to hit up Richmond. Horned Owl, my dream job out of college was in Vancouver. I had to move there. I would move there in a heartbeat. It was a Piranha game working in the Mech Warrior game. Oh, interesting. You were working for Mech Warrior. Well, anyone who watched the Reboot documentary of the show Reboots that was done by Mainframe, the guys who did Beast Wars, it was a bunch of British guys. They went to Vancouver and then they were like, "Oh my God, this is a paradise." And then they moved their whole operation there. You know, they know what's up. Again, Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver. That's it. That's it. Anywhere else, I'm sorry. And I've been to those other places that you guys are. I've been to Calgary. I've been to Winnipeg. I've been to those other. You know what? I haven't been to Nunavut. I haven't been to Yellowknife. But you know what? No one's been there. No one's been there, so it doesn't matter. My friend who was a bailiff, he went to work there for a bit. He had to leave his car in my driveway because he had to park somewhere. And he went there for whatever reason because it paid good to go there for 6 months. And he was like, "Oh my god, all we did was watch basketball on a laptop and play N64. That's all he did. He was so bored." I know GameCube. Excuse me. He was playing GameCube. Why lag? Why? Why? Haven't been able to go to TFCon yet. How much on average would a trip cost, not including the dealer room? So what I always say, why lag, and it's the same method that I used to apply to BotCon back in the day. When I used to work at Burger King and I didn't make a lot of money, I always say put aside $1,000. That $1,000 will be your hotel, your flight, or your public transit or whatever it is to get there, train, flight, whatever. So you have your hotel, you have your transit, and then you also have your entry to the convention. $1,000 will cover those three things. After that, that's up to you. How much you spend in deal room, how much food you eat, how you eat that weekend, if you eat cheap or if you eat expensive. But $1,000 should, in theory, cover everything. If you're in the States, I'm saying. If you're in Canada, flights are going to be more expensive. If you're overseas, obviously flights are going to be more expensive. But $1,000 has been it's been the golden number back in 2002 when I was at Burger King, and it's been the golden number today, years later. Not much has changed. It's always been kind of that. Keep about $1,000. I know it sounds like a lot, but to have the experience that you're going to absolutely love and look back on with smiles, and to get to hang out with people that all have the same interests that you do, to go to panels, to meet voice actors, to meet creators, to get cool exclusives, to be surrounded by thousands of toys that are going to make you cry, you know, you can't, if anything, it's going to be worth it just in the photography you're going to take with your phone of all the cool memories, you know? So that's what I say. Uh, that's not bad at all. That's good to hear. Thanks. Yeah, it's never really changed much, you know? Cuz what's like the base TFCon entry? What is it, like $100, I think, or 125 for the VIP one, which you don't need that, you know? And then the hotel, depending if you're staying like, let's say, Friday, Saturday, Sunday and leaving Monday, $300 maybe. And if you get roommates and you split that, then that even eviscerates it even more. And then your flight. That's it. And I count your flight, and depending on where the TFCon is, you might need to get an Uber or a taxi to the hotel, you know? And again, if you're in the States, those flights are cheap. My flight, no joke, from Montreal to Baltimore is almost $600. But if I was in Plattsburgh, that flight would have been $300. So if I would have drove 30 minutes across the border to Plattsburgh and take the flight, it would have been 300. But, that state to state is always cheaper than border crossing. They factor in a lot of things. Will Murphy, I was the guy with Unicron for Aaron to sign and gave you the Nerf Megatron. Yep, I got that. Still got that there, Will. I love that thing. I took apart some of the pieces though, but really cool. I want to like one day like put it on like a piece of wood or something and like hang it somewhere. Cuz I got like an empty wall here. Could do with something with that. Yeah. Got to fill a space. Giggity. Horndow, no, I would have moved to Vancouver if I've gotten the job. At GDC, I talked to everyone at the company, even went to lunch with the lead artist. Would have loved to get that job, but I didn't. Never say never, my friend. Never say never. You never know what the future brings. And we are all not locked to where we live. Anyone could travel, anyone could move. All that stops you is finance and grit. That's it. You work at a shitty job, save up money, and get the F out of there. Because I always feel that environment has a lot to do with who you are as a person, how it affects you in the long term. I mean, how you were raised by your parents makes you one kind of person, but then you move somewhere and you have a different group of friends and a different environment and stuff, and you go through a whole resocialization process. And sometimes you got to get out of those negative environments. And some of those small towns, oh my God, I can't even imagine how boring it must be. You know, I can't even imagine. You forgot DC? DC what? What? Washington, DC? I guess I'm missing something here. Missing a conversation. I can see your kitty. Which one? Giggity. Oh, he's in the reflection. Butters, are you in the reflection? Why did you come over here? People want to see you. No? Oh, well. Maybe he'll come later. Um, Good night, everyone. Proto, I'll see you at Baltimore. Oh, what time is it? Oh, we're at the 2-hour mark already? Butters is not coming. We're at the 2-hour mark already. Thank you for reminding me, guys. Otherwise, I'll go on long forever. Butters is in the window. He's in the reflection. You can see the. Oh yeah, you can kind of see him in the glass. You're right. There he is. Look at him there. He's cleaning himself. That white fur doesn't stay white on its own. Horned Owl, this was 10 years ago. Not going anywhere now. Not by choice. I like where I am. Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying for anyone, really. You know, like a lot of times I talk to people and they're like, oh, I hate where I live. And, it's not a good, I wish I could live here or there. Brother, always find a way, save money, be smart with your money, invest your money, find a way to build it. If it takes 5 years to do that, those 5 years to make the next 30 heaven, it's worth it. It's worth it. And you'd be surprised how fast 5 years pass. And then you put yourself in a good situation and then you're able to meet people. Like, look, if you live in a small, nothing town, how do you meet love? How do you meet people? How do you meet friends? Have cool environments? What's he cleaning? Ah, he's cleaning his fur. You don't see. He's just doing his thing over there. He's doing his thing. Yeah, I'm from a small. There's some mini golf and a movie theater. Mini golf's fun. Mini golf is always fun, and some bars. Nothing beats some mini golf or bowling. Anyways, we will take one more super chat and then we will call it quits for the evening. And there it is right there. From Rudy Mack. Good show, Proto. No Studio Series 86 Galvatron for me. Well, Rudy Mack, I'm with you on that one. Short of it going on sale, I don't think I'm interested in it either. I'm pretty happy with the Kingdom one I got. I probably would like the Legacy one, so it doesn't have the battle damage on it. But I also have the Galvatron 2 one, the gray colored one, toy accurate one. I never got the reformatted one. I'd like to get that one too, but not made of money. I'm just made of honey. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Take care of yourselves. It's been a great one. Once again, if you want to support the podcast, we have the Patreon link in the description below. If Patreon is not your thing, those beautiful green names that you saw in the chat this whole time that I was answering a lot of their questions to, those are the YouTube members. That's the join button that's over there. You could come join the Patreon. If you want to double dip, you could join that, join the Patreon, come hang out with us in the Discord, all kinds of cool stuff. Again, next week, we will have a big reveal of the TFCon exclusive, which, God, I'm scared because I don't think I have enough for everybody. I made 80 units, and I know those 80 units are going to disappear. That's what's crazy. I think it's going to be too popular, this one. But either way, we're going to be showing it next week. It's going to be really cool. And then the week after that, we have TFCon Baltimore, which, again, go check out Aaron Archer and all his cool ass stuff. Go check out Symbiote Studios with their cool ass stuff. Next week with them is going to be, of course, their Sludge that's going to be coming out, their Grimlock. And we have 2 more reveals next week with Symbiote Studios of the video game nature. So we'll do that also. A lot of cool stuff. Thank you again for tuning in, guys, and hanging out with us like we always do here on the Transformer Slag podcast. Darkstar777, thank you for joining as a recruit. And I'll talk to you all later. Take care of yourself, your friends, your loved ones, and your family. The world is not such a terrible place as it is. With all the crazy politics, all the stupidity, everyone trading cards of their favorite millionaire who doesn't care about who they are. There's only one millionaire you should care about, and that's you and the richness inside your mind. And what the hell am I talking about? Either way, I'm out of here. Me and the cat are going to hang out. Okay, I'm going to hang out with myself and maybe play some Nintendo Switch, eat some good food, and chill because this jacket needs some new drip. Ronin Warriors. Take care, everyone. I'm out of here.